So you want to know what I was doing before that?
I'm gonna say Super Monkey Ball.
No, although I wish I did have that game. It's a great game. But I had gotten a bunch of tapes from a trader. They're just dumping tapes, and this person had a deal: $20 to cover the shipping or 12 hours of material.
I take the box.
No. It's you give them 12 hours of material or you pay their shipping, which was $20. Guess which one I did?
20 out, so $20 for 12 hours.
No, $20 or give them 12 hours of game shows.
And this could be online or physical, or...
I only do physical.
All right, so you did physical for physical.
Yeah.
That's very... I'm not going to say old school, but that's also kind of the... Considering what's been going on with some of these YouTube videos and the crackdown, I think that might have to be a safety net for a while.
Yep. And so I got a bunch of tapes, some very interesting ones. And one of them had one of the worst specials of all time.
The Nickelodeon All-Star Games.
That one actually wasn't that bad. I remember watching that. I watched it on Nick Gas.
Was that during the Big Help weekend, or?
Yeah, it was during a Big Help weekend.
But what was that special?
Who wants to marry who wants to be a princess?
Oh, the. Jeez, who hosted that? It was
one of the myriad of specials for Fox, and you want to know who hosted it?
Yeah, I was just. I remember seeing that special for a bit.
It was Pat Bullard.
Our friend, wait, Pat Bullard hosted that?
Yep.
Pat Bullard. Oh no.
If there
our friend from...
No, your friend.
Our friend from Card Sharks, Pat Bullard.
God, everybody loves me, don't they?
The guy from Here Come the Newlyweds. Remember when they tried to do Newlywed Game as a reality show?
Yeah. The guy who had his own talk show and wore nuts on his neck.
Didn't he host like the last version of Love Connection before it ended?
The 98 version.
All right. So who wants to be a princess? Was there anybody who starred in the hit USA Network show Suits?
No. I wouldn't know because I saw that and I was like, oh, fuck, no.
Was this like a grab bag? Like they just wanted to hurt you?
No, it wasn't to hurt me because there were great tapes in there. Like the entire Y2 Play marathon was one of those tapes.
The Y2 Play block.
Yep. Great finales like Family Feud, Match Game, I've Got a Secret, the original To Tell the Truth, Bud Collier, so the daytime version. And the funny thing about the What's My Line episode, it was not the What's My Line from the marathon, it was original broadcast. So it had the commercials.
There was a bit of throwback too. So you had a... Let me see here what year that would be.
1999.
Oh, 99? Okay, then you would just have probably a ringtone ad. And this is good. So we're talking turn of the 2000s. So that's glossy.
No, this was the original broadcast. What's My Line? This was the 67 version.
Oh.
This was 67.
67. So that would be, I think that was the era of Geritol.
Allstate, Geritol.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're still in the world of the somewhat sponsored but loosely sponsored game show.
Yeah. Which we've kind of discussed on the show you can see again. Like, for
We
these
did
app
it.
games, you can really see that again.
It's gonna stop by again. I finally saw clips from Don't, and it kind of feels that way too. But I'm saving that for a later
Yeah, we're
broadcast.
going to talk about a whole bunch of renewals, and that will be lumped in. I also got some episodes of Smush.
You know, I just got done talking Smush with Chris Murphy, stand-up comedian, great guy in Chicago.
It is one of those buried treasure shows, in my opinion.
It's we he was like confused by the smushes, the smush answers, and
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't like he was 7 when that show debuted. So a lot of the like name this 1996 Diane Keaton movie just completely went over his head.
And plus,
And
they're kind of easy to make up.
but yeah, we kind of did do like a whole breakdown of I think like the big issue with the game because first of all, it aired at like what 4 a.m. at the last part of its run.
11:30 at night originally, and then they dumped it at 1 in the morning. That's when I grabbed an episode.
It really should have just aired at 7, like as a lead-in or an afternoon spot, something where they can bump it, but it's like in competition with like something that won't actually like win anything.
It would have been perfect for GSN.
It was $8,000. That's slightly above GSN minimum of $5,000.
Of that time period, yeah. And not many people won the $8,000.
And
Like
I kind of and when I
every
made my
3 or 4
little like
shows.
revival push, because that's the bit I do with the show is just like revival push. I guess I'm spoiling an episode that's going to air in like 2 weeks or so. I just said something along the lines of just take this to a bar, because the whole appeal of Smush was this like house party environment. That if you just get everyone slightly tipsy and have them do this, it'd be a lot of fun.
Yep. And I think that's kind of what they actually did on the show.
Especially the original pilot, the 96 pilot that at Harry Guiley's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
When it was called Smushed.
Yep.
But I love that theme song. Andy, give me like a clean cut of the theme song, please.
Yep.
So.
And I also got a lot of Nickelodeon.
So you got Smush, you got so you got the best of 2001 is what I'm hearing here. What Nickelodeon
the best and
shows?
the worst of 2001. Some of it was random Nickelodeon stuff. Like one part had an episode of Make the Grade from '89.
Wow, what?
Yeah, Make the Grade. And after that was Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. You know, did you ask for Inspector Gadget or?
No, this guy sent me a bunch of tapes, and I'm just having a blast going through them.
Like it's just like it's kind of so you almost got like one of those like mystery VHS. You're playing mystery VHS tape roulette at the Goodwill.
I had a friend actually do that.
I used to do that when I had a VHS tape. That was like a thing I used to do in high school. Was just like go to Goodwill, see VHS tapes that were not labeled, buy them, and see what were on them.
A friend did that and found an episode of Monday Night Raw from 2007.
Oh no, I got it even worse. I got the funniest one.
Which one?
So it was the news footage of Princess Diana's death.
Oh.
And then immediately cut over it was AMC Monster Fest copy of Frankenstein.
But hey, at least you got something good out of it. AMC Monster Fest is always
No,
good.
and it wasn't like it was. And this just so it doesn't sound so horrifying. It wasn't like it was like the casket was driving down. Peter Jennings is talking about like what a long legacy, and then cut to welcome to AMC Monster Fest.
That reminds me of something I did
Boris
on the
Karloff.
sly. My mom had recorded the Dale Earnhardt Memorial Service, and I recorded over that with most outrageous game show moments.
Now, what if it was just like midway through outrageous game show moments? Racing legend Dale Earnhardt Jr. passed away today. Time of the month, women gets pregnant. September.
I don't know. It reminded me of this moment where mom was working and she always watched General Hospital, and she had that set to record out in the front room. But I turned on USA Network and I was watching Joker's Wild.
Boom.
And yes, with Pat Finn.
Did they win the TV or the trip to Hawaii?
I think it was $1,000 on the Joker machine.
At least someone won something.
Yeah. But I have like about 7 or 8 more tapes to go on that front, so it's going to be more interesting digging.
I love this mystery. I really hope you wind up with like episodes of like Dexter's Laboratory, Space Ghost Coast to Coast,
Talk Soup
with John Henson, followed by Coming Attractions with Todd Newton.
Or Talk Soup with Todd Newton subbing for John Henson.
You get a Hollywood Showdown from Game Show Network with Todd Newton.
Or from PAX.
The PAX run, and then you get On the Cover with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh. Or Balderdash.
Remember, or maybe you'll get Dirty Ron Cheater.
I have one episode of that. That's kind of all I need.
Now I think you need multiple, especially with The Hustler coming soon. Or congratulations, you got episodes of That's My Dog on the Family Channel.
Oh God. Oh, speaking of the Family Channel, I actually got an episode of Family Challenge.
Combs or Burger?
Combs.
All right.
But this was near the end, where I was convinced that he was just off his tits. He was just loopy and out there. It wasn't Ray.
Oh, so we're talking really the spiral out of control Combs.
Yeah.
That's depressing. Was this like last of the tape days, and it's like he just knows like this is not going to last a season 2. This is it. This is my career. I'm done. Bye.
The thing was, it did get season 2. That's the sad thing.
We're going into the gunk tank. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gunk tank. That's what we're calling it. Sure. Even though I still like that show, I thought Family Challenge was fun.
It was fun, but and I always maintained the saddest time for Ray was after Survivor Series 93. Because that's when everything went downhill for Ray.
That was he no longer had feud.
He still had feud for a few more weeks.
After Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Featuring the famous walkout.
No.
In 2 weeks from now, the thank you for watching Family Feud. They all celebrate. He leaves, grabs his shit, gets to the car, drives off.
Yeah. And then he was told that Dawson was going to come back and take over the show. And if I was Vince, you know what I would have done?
I would have gotten Bobby Lashley.
No. If this was 94 and you're kind of desperate for star power, I'd talk to Ray and say, hey, I have this show called Wrestling Challenge. We're looking for a new commentator.
I mean, I would see that. Actually, that would have worked. Or even if you couldn't get him to do like play-by-play or color, like you could have at least had him do backstage segments.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was right in the peak of all of the big timers are going to WCW.
Right, and this was the cartoony era, so it worked.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Bastion Booger.
Gross.
I'm here with Erlen Schleicher, IRS.
I'm here with the $1 Million Corporation and the Turncoat Tatanka.
I would see that. I mean, It couldn't be any worse than Mike Adamle.
No. But full credit for Mike for trying.
He did. He is right. I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, that could be a whole on like segment. Is the world of game shows with pro wrestling?
Plug. Wrestling with Regret 2014. I actually did that.
Brian's. What are you telling Brian?
Okay. This was back in 2014. This was when Brian Zane was getting started. And he was starting season 2. I enjoyed his work, and I said, hey, you want to collab on a video? And do this game show thing? And he was like, sure. Let's do it. So we mapped it out. We typed everything out. Made a whole bunch of cheap Impact jokes. Boom. Success.
At the time, there was a show called TNA Impact. It sucked. It has the same rating. The weird part is now it had like the same ratings back then as like Modern Raw does today, but that's beside the point.
No, it's more along the lines of it's got the ratings WWE wished NXT would have right now.
Oh no! I've seen what they say to Dave Meltzer now. You don't want to annoy those people.
How dare you give that Moxley Omega match 4.5 stars?
It's the same dramatic as the Taker Mankind match.
Yeah,
I agree. It's same star rating. But it was just level. There's no war. And you know what? I'm so glad I don't have to handle with that with any of the game show fans. Congratulations. Give a round of applause to yourself, the game show audience. You do not do that situation to the game show journalists like Cyndi and myself, and most likely we love to interrupt people as well. Yep.
Hey, give a shout out to Alex Davis and Christian Carrion of Buzzer Blog.
Yeah, they deal with more of the crap than we do.
Yeah.
I wonder how many. I bet I'm gonna pick. I think that's my New Year's resolution. 2020. Pick a fight with everybody.
Please don't. I did that. It's not fun.
I'm gonna call you out, Brian Zane. You're doing the game show stuff a few years back.
And he only did it once.
You did it once. And then you left, you coward. Come on back.
There's only so much material you could wring out of that.
So I'm guessing it was the things like Vanna White at WrestleMania.
No. We're talking Ox Baker on The Price is Right.
Oh, okay.
That's,
Well, this was actually before. Now I think about it. This is actually before College Rivals Week, right? So that means that was right before Lillian Garcia.
The catalyst of all of this was when the ring announcer from I think it was like CZW.
The CZW announcer?
The ring announcer?
Yeah.
And
Eric.
Yeah, Eric, yeah.
Gargiulo.
Not Eric.
I forgot what he's known in there. I think that he just goes by the same.
Yeah. Deep announced voice. And here's the host. Here's the announcer of The Price is Right, George. What's his last name?
Gray.
Gray. And what was edited out is the money line that George uttered. I am totally famous right now. And we had to cut it for time because of YouTube constrictions.
Also, there is a few others. There was a guy who wrestled in All Japan that was on Card Sharks recently. The thing is, though, with pro wrestlers as contestants, like that always seems to be a thing that comes up. Whether it's Luchasaurus on Big Brother or John Hennigan on Survivor,
who was #Brochacho Blindside. Oh, by the way,
I think the problem with a lot of pro wrestlers as contestants is they always want them to be a typecast.
Yeah,
and I hate that because, like, Cyndi, you talked to a few pro wrestlers. I've talked to a few pro wrestlers.
Yeah,
they're not always that way. They're very, for lack of a better term, nerds like us.
Yeah, they're down to earth. But you mentioned Survivor, and I'm like, oh god, not. Did you see Wednesday Survivor?
Yeah.
Two of the most likable and interesting, and people who you want to root for to win, get booted because Missy and Jessica lied.
Well, yeah, and not only that, it was the inappropriate touching thing too. It was that, and that's like a whole big backstory thing, and it was just horrendous.
We're gonna talk about this. This will be a subject after the season wraps up because this season.
I think that the big issue with Survivor, and this is true of most reality competition shows, is because. And I can kind of guess. I can say I was thinking like a wrestling storyline because that's kind of where a lot of reality show editing comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Because faces heels, heroes villains. It's when you're the favorite that you want, and the way they edit, and the way that they're personable, and the way they act on the show, they automatically are the good person. But the problem with these shows is because you can't write out, you can't say what the ending is. So for every single time they say, "Are these shows rigged?" There's your answer. This week's Survivor.
No,
it's not rigged. People just get fucked over.
Well, that's another video that's being demonetized. Oh well. Well, we're a partner anyway, so who cares?
We are not approved the COPA. Because of a few explicit.
I list immediately that this couple of these clips are not for kids.
That's because I'm here.
No, it's just general procedure that I do.
All right.
Because it's not specifically for kids.
Things like what happened on Survivor. You have a good person. You have the face. I'm going to say baby faces and heels or heroes and villains, what have you. Mm-hmm. And she was a hero. Like, she was we were supposed to root for her until like maybe the final four, when she either might lose because of shenanigans or ultimately go into the final tribal council.
Or she can't make fire.
You have no idea how much that pisses me off. I guess it's better than, say, the Stones, I guess.
Well, for final four?
Yeah, when they do the fire challenge instead of
a vote.
Yeah. I think it's the issue is when you're rooting and you're editing to make someone appear to be the good person and then they're out. And I'm gonna bet next week's ratings are gonna drop a bit because of this.
Oh, the backlash has been pretty devastating.
That is going to knock out the ratings, and then, like always, it'll bounce back at Reunion when we find out who wins.
And then we get season 40, which is the winter season.
The all winners. They're doing the all winter season.
Yeah.
But
the winner from this season is not on it because they were taped.
Once I figure out who the cast is, I will see what I can make as the call.
Ethan is on it, and that's the oldest cast member. You know, going far back.
Because, who was the one in? Because think millennials and Gen X, for instance. That one was
Adam Klein.
Then you had the Brains versus what was it they called it? The Brains and Brawn episode, the Nerds season.
Brains.
Beauty versus Brains versus Brawn.
Oh, who won that? Oh. Cass. Who beat Cass, Spencer, and Tasha in that season?
I don't think they're going to put people like Boston Raw back.
No, he's there.
For the All-Star Battle of the Tournament of Champions.
Yeah, he's there.
They're going to knock him out then.
Exactly.
They're going to be like, he's going to be a target in like the first week. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can.
It should be
everybody's
one
going to go after
people.
Ben from Heroes, Healers, Hustlers.
How about Survivor Jenna?
She didn't win.
Oh. How about what was her fate? Oh, it's the oh my God.
We'll talk about that in a couple shows from now because we have more stuff we got to get to. We're kind of behind.